Hi, everybody. Leanne Holitza here. Sorry, I was just running behind, just came back into town, so I'm trying to get everything all set up. Um, so for those of you who are hanging out, you genuinely were waiting for me to go live, not just doing the hack on the YouTube channel. Okay, let's see. Today I have my 5 tools of protection, psychic protection class. Tonight it's going to be virtual. So, for those of you who have taken my energy awareness class, this is like a very cinched down version of just the protections that maybe we need around here lately. Goodness. Um, yeah, and I mean there's some other events coming up, but I'm just like I said, flying in from being out of town, so and still trying to catch up on my energies, getting reacclimated. So I couldn't even tell you what I have on the calendar right this minute. But today we are going to use the Lotus Way inspired action spray. So this is a good one if you're feeling at all like you're procrastinating or you need to move forward on something. That is a great elixir or a spray. Celestite is calling to me right now, so this is a like a little angelic energy. And we're going to use the Osho Zen deck for our individual readings. For those of you who haven't played the game before, you're going to type in me, please, and you are going to, I will give you an individual card when we get there. But we're going to start off with our weekly reading. And then we will, that will be for all of us and what this week looks like. And then we'll do a 1, 2, 3, and you can pick, and that can be, if you're watching later, could be your reading, or that could be the start of your reading if you're watching live. So, all right, let's do this. All right. First card, okay, space. This could just be that we are needing a little bit of recalibrating of our personal space. I'm feeling like from the guides that it would be a good time to update your energy in your house, create an altar, put yourself in alignment with just really enjoying your personal space. Okay, so, and then be in that space. Okay, so this card, the receiving card be coming in is saying basically that the inhale, you have to be a good receiver in order to be a good giver. And so it's a good time to take a breath, see where you're not receiving when you could be receiving, and do a little balancing act there. Okay, end of the week. You're breaking through some limiting beliefs, which is awesome. Good job. So breaking through limiting beliefs and being able to function from a little bit of a higher sense of understanding and truth and working with the universe. Okay, so that's going to be happening towards the end of the week if you work on being a good receiver and working on your personal space. All right, let's do the 1, 2, 3s. Okay, everybody. Here you go. So if you pick 1, pick 2, or pick 3. This is the theme for the week to be focused on for you. Oh, goodness. Okay. This one flew out for all of us. So hold on. Let me just throw this one out for us first. Ooh, celebration. Okay. Dance, dance, dance. Be in the energy of community, being able to see how you can help each other and how you can be helped by the people around you. I've been getting that message a lot for myself. So it's cool that it's coming up for all of us. Okay. If you picked 1, you're going to get some guidance this week, okay? So be aware of the signs, the synchronicity, the things that are coming through. This is a good week for you to notice where your guidance is trying to lead you. Heed that guidance if you can. I know I'm not always the best either of doing that, but if you picked 2, you've got the dream, okay? And what this is kind of saying is that there's maybe some things you're pining for, and this may not be the week for fruition of those things that you're pining for. But just notice that you might be wasting a lot of energy seeing what you don't have, and what your guides are saying is look and focus on what you do have right now. Yes, it's great to vision into your life sometimes, but when you vision with like woe is me, that brings more woe is me. So it's visioning when you're like, oh, I can't wait for that to happen. That's a different thing. This is basically saying watch out for the woe is me side. If you picked 3, okay, there's going to be some new understandings, but understanding too that the cage is open, but you might be caging yourself. Remember the courage card that we saw. Our limiting beliefs are going to be coming to for us to look at, and being able to receive whatever energy is yours to receive this week, and realize that the cage is open if you choose to let yourself out. Okay. But when it came upside down, it's kind of saying you may not be letting yourself out of the cage, and just notice your own oppressive thoughts and energies. Okay. Here we go. Let's do our individual readings. I'm going to start with the top. You guys come in at different and a different feed because of the way that the where you're coming from, so you may not see the people I'm seeing. Your name will pop up on the bottom down there. Also, just be aware of any trolls, people who post things like uh private message me for a reading. Those are not me. I will try to catch them as fast as I can. Let's start with Tiff. And just a reminder, if there's a message that comes through that feels like it's also speaking to you, it probably is. The guides do come in groups. In fact, I do a guides group event where it's really fun. We have the guides all get together and talk to you guys. Anyway, so just know that that might happen. And if we see a card 3 times, it's definitely a message for the collective. All right, so receptivity. So your card that came upside down. So this is telling you, Tiff, that you are blocking yourself from receiving something. Remember, that's kind of the message for the theme for the week, is notice where your limiting beliefs are telling you that you can't have what you want, that you don't need to worry about anybody but yourself. Like, it's like, look around, see who wants to offer you help, see who wants to give you love, and then maybe be a little more open. Now, this woman has a lotus head, so just even thinking about like a higher download and a higher truth about manifesting and what that looks like. Okay. So just looking for those blocks to your higher truth this week. Robin, thank you. I had a wonderful birthday, so little time off. um All right. Let's see, Robin. Your card is the Innocence. Okay. So this week for you, just play. Just be into, like, the little caterpillar on the ground and the little, the falling leaves and the whatever. Just to have a little bit of fun with looking at just the simple things in life this week. If you combine that with the weekly message, what basically is saying is, like, let the nature, like, give you guidance, give you messages, and show you how you can receive more energy. Okay. All right, Janelle and Donnie. Janelle, your card upside down, rebirth. Okay. So what this is basically saying is it's not time yet for you to have new beginnings, that you're working on it. You're coming to it. It's going to happen. But this week you're more working on that receiving energy and your own limiting beliefs in order to bring yourself out of whatever you feel like you need to be birthed from. Okay. The guides are talking about divine timing and that you don't want to have a premature birth. So whatever is brewing for you as far as a rebirth goes, it won't be time yet, but this week is a time to look at what might be coming. Donnie, for you, the Lovers. So this is basically saying go back to your primary relationship, connect with that person, ask how they're doing, ask them questions about their energy, and then see how you can enhance and expand both of your lives together. Better together is what the guides just said. So get back together with your lover. All right, Lisa. Okay, upside down sorrow. So what this is telling me is that there's some old energy that is coming up that is saying that that you might be feeling sad about. All emotions are valid. All emotions are valid, and sometimes they're not relevant though to the time period because we stuffed it when the actual thing happened, or we couldn't cope back then. And there's new stuff, new space to heal old wounds. So what this is saying is that this week you're going to maybe have some opportunity to clear out some old feelings, but they may not be relevant to the present time, and that's okay. Just give yourself some space to let them process and move through. Okay. All right, Jordan. Jordan, you got the dream. This card was upside down in the first part, but it's coming right side up for you. So if you picked it already at the beginning, really acknowledging that this is the message for you. Okay. That pining is not great. Like, oh, woe is me, I want this. But being visioning and being like, I want to create that, and I want to create this, and I can want to draw that into my life, that can be a really good practice. And so just kind of noticing what you're doing as far as how you're telling the universe what you want. Okay, good week to work on your vision. Okay, Michelle and Melissa Dorenzo. Okay, Michelle Thunderbolt. time for some epiphanies for you this week. Okay. So there's some realizations about how you've been using your energy that are going to come out in a little bit of a different way this week. And you're going to, by the end of the week, that limiting belief system that we talked about letting go of will be obvious, where you have put the chains around yourself and you don't have to do it anymore. Okay. So cool. Freedom week for you. All right, Melissa, for you this week, you are focusing on healing. Oh, look at that. So you are working on really letting yourself be healed yourself, and let yourself acknowledge that there's a big room for like forgiveness of yourself, and just letting go of needing to be hard on yourself and hold yourself in a way that isn't fun anymore. It doesn't serve you. Okay? So let it go. Tanya, you're going to be focusing on tuning in. This card has a lot of voices in the background, a lot of people going, "Rah, rah, 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 rah." And this week it's kind of like silence those outside voices. Listen to yourself, listen to your truth. This is a good time to also, I'm hearing from that, definitely they're reiterating the space message to you, which means going back home, cleaning your space, making sure it feels good to you. That is going to be important this week. Okay. Andrea, focus for this week for you is letting go of anything that doesn't serve you anymore, letting go of things that are no longer relevant. And it may be hard sometimes to let things go, especially when we've worked really hard or we've put a lot of energy and time on something. But this week, it's just like the drip of water back into the flow. Like, just let it go, and it'll go back into the manifestation flow and create something new. Okay. Pamela, you've got projections. Okay. So this is a caution as well as a release, right? Don't let yourself worry about what other people are projecting onto you, but be careful what you're projecting onto them. The Light Council actually had a really cool message last week about it was it was about how what we project onto other people, what we call out, what we see is what we continue to see. So if we're always judging and being critical, then we are going to receive more opportunities to be around people who need to be judged and criticized. But if can look at the gratitude of what we're seeing in the positive stuff, then we will get more of that. Okay. So just be aware of what you're projecting out too, because that's really the only thing you have control over. And you don't have to accept other people's projections. All right. You're welcome to now. Janice. Ordinariness. Okay, so this card is basically just saying, like, go be ordinary. Like, it doesn't have to be a spectacular life every day. Sometimes the ordinary is extraordinary. And this is very much of what this is saying to you. Like, just go live your ordinary life every day and then just see what that unfolds with. Okay. All right. Ordinary seems so simple, doesn't it? Sarah, you've got past life stuff coming up. Okay. So this can be kind of confusing when you're not exactly aware, but I definitely, can tell when I'm in a past life, because there's just like this weird familiar energy, but also this kind of like it's not present. It doesn't make a lot of sense with present time energy. So this card is basically talking about working on your past lives. There's many books. You can go to my website and just at the bottom, there's a search bar that just type in books, and you can kind of see some of my book recommendations about stuff. And there are some books I think on there that list for past lives. But there's lots of interesting ways to learn about that and learn to get into it. One of the most famous ones is Many Lives, Many Masters. Um, all right, Cameron. Ooh, adventure, but not yet. It's upside down. Okay. So this is saying, hold on. Yep, you are going on an adventure. Yep, you are in a new world. But hold on, like these baby steps, and get yourself acknowledging like what you truly need to be resourced with to make this adventure work. And also, how can you again clear out those limiting beliefs? Okay. All right. All right. Let's see here. Janelle, you're in there many times. Look, I got you. I got you both. Heidi. Heidi. Friendliness. Oh, look at the trees and joining each other. This is a good time for community. Remember the celebration card that flew out of the deck? This is a good time to find so the people who are really supportive of you and want you the best for you. Go out and make those connections. But in particular, you only need one person to make you feel more expansive. And this week would be a good week to find out who that person is. And I think sometimes we change roles in each other's life with regards to that. Sometimes you're my expansive person, sometimes we're not near each other. the best friends I have are the ones who can trust that when we're not in connection, we're still good. And next time we can be together, we will be. That's kind of the message. Rob, you got the rebel upside down. So this week is not a rebel week for you. You don't have to push the envelope this week. It's a good week for you to know that this rebel is kind of lives inside you and wants to cause trouble sometimes. But this is not the week to cause trouble. It's the week to go in and figure out what does the receiving side of you want? What are you really asking for when you are being rebellious? And then see if you can clarify that ask, okay? Smile. Sorrow upside down, second time we've seen it this way. So basically what this is saying to you is that it's going to be a good week to process emotions, good week to let things go through. Know that it is best to just let emotions go through and not necessarily block them in some way just because you don't know why you're having those feelings. Okay, so good week to process feelings. Karen, Aaron, you got Thunderbolt upside down. So this is basically saying this is not a week for you to get any kind of epiphanies. You maybe be waiting for some. It's okay that they are not coming this week. They're creating themselves right now. It's still a time to be waiting for that to be occurring. So not yet an opportunity to have those epiphanies. Christy, you got postponement. Okay, so some delays may be coming through this week and maybe feeling a little bit like really more delays, but just acknowledging that it's okay that those delays happen. And sometimes it's a reflective time to recalibrate. Kira, for you, we are the world. Okay, so this is a good week to be making friends, hanging out with lots of people, just making community best you can and having some fun with that. Okay, so all right. Seriously wonderful. Seriously wonderful consciousness for you as a week of going in and really paying attention. Remember, we talked about the receiving energy and the limiting beliefs are clearing out. So this week would be a good week to get really conscious with yourself and notice the consciousness of those around you. If you're around a lot of unconscious people, you might want to make some shifts because, we want to be around consciousness. I mean, you guys wouldn't be on my channel if you didn't. So just getting around people who are more aware with whatever intention that you can. Kamal, you've got the Lover's card. Okay, so this is a reminder to get back to your primary relationship. It is waiting for you. It wants you to pay attention to it. The person who has had your back all this time, who is it and how can you get back to that person and show love to them so that you guys can expand and connect a little bit more. Okay, so think about the receiving energy, think about the limiting beliefs, and reach out to your significant other. Kim, upside down compromise. So this week is not a week to compromise. Sometimes when compromising means that nobody wins, right? So this week, don't compromise. See where you can acknowledge your habit of compromising and then, come back and acknowledge that you don't have to do it that way. Okay. All right. Afshin, focus for you this week. Woo, guilt. Feeling guilty about things. This week would be a good week to process that guilt out, to acknowledge that you don't need to carry it around. It's not serving you. Don't do things out of guilt, because if you do things out of guilt, that means that you're tainting it with some sort of negative obligatory energy. Yes, guides are talking about radiant inspired action. Okay. You're getting some inspired action from the Lotus Way group here. So a little bit of energy around, not procrastinating and not doing things just because you feel guilty. Okay. Mary, upside down tuning in. Okay. So this might be a week to open your eyes and pay attention to what you are allowing around you. It might be time to start paying attention to those energies so that you can make conscious adjustments to the people who are involved in your reality and telling you what is when it may not be what you want to be, right? My husband and I have talked about sometimes can be a anxiety verbalizing his anxiety, and he will say like this terrible things that happen, that terrible things that happen, and I keep saying stop talking like that because that's not helpful, it's stressful. And it's true, like when we sometimes we say things because we're anxious about something happening and we don't mean to say it, and maybe we shouldn't say it because it isn't helpful. So just kind of watch out for all that, the chattering voices around you. And if you can make some adjustments or ask people to make their own adjustments. All right, Gina, morality. Okay. So this is interesting. I'm getting a lot of energy for you around um that it's a good time to look at the books, and just because it's in the book doesn't mean that it's true and it should be activated. And I don't know what kind of book that means. I kind of see like a book of law or some sort of textbook that then needs to be rewritten and rechanged. So just kind of be diligent about that. We might have put, I'm getting, now they're flashing on like the 1950s, like how to be a good wife, right? Not relevant anymore. So that's funny. I just got one of the guys teased me. Well, it might be relevant to some people, but um, anyway, just kind of maybe pay attention to what is written down as law in your life and what might need to be rewritten. Okay, Habiba, you got the source. Okay, so this is a reminder to spend some time, top of the head, crown chakra, reaching up past all of the day-to-day garbage and reach back to that original source point that you are a reflection of, that you are a reflection of that divinity, and asking that divinity to come through you further, and acknowledging that nothing is broken, nothing is wrong, that you are an expression of the divine, no matter what you are doing, and how can you improve that expression? Okay, so maybe a little meditating. Okay, I'm gonna probably totally get this. Is that ERMS? ERMS. You can always just look at the screen. Okay, here you go. Your card. Politics. Ooh. And I'm kind of seeing the same thing with Gina. Gina's had like a political tinge to hers too. But politics for you, careful, because this is, I mean, you don't necessarily want to play the game. Okay, that's what, see, this card doesn't look so awesome, right? There's lots of stuff that can happen in the political realm. And I don't just mean like our government. I mean like systems can be politically kind of tainted. And this is kind of a reminder, be who you are. Watch the game, play the game if you must, but know it's a game. Okay. And so just a little bit of caution there too. All right. Kimberly. Kimberly. Oh, third time's a charm, you guys. Sorrow again. Good week to process some old emotions. I'm going to pull up the book just because, but it's a good week for you to acknowledge there's some unfinished energies that are not necessarily feeling um, present time, but they need to come out because they haven't been dealt with because it wasn't safe to deal with it back when. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna read to you. The pain is not to make you miserable. The pain is to make you more aware. And when you are aware, misery disappears. Okay. So that's the message to kind of pay attention to. But for all of us this week, you guys, all of us paying attention to that message, because I came up the third time. And sometimes you just have to give yourself space. Okay, Kelly, your card is upside down, understanding. Okay, so this is if you picked three, this card came through. But upside down, understanding your own limitations, understanding your own cages, understanding that the way you are thinking sometimes. Ooh, did you see your orb? You got a little orb there. That was your little message from the angels, right? Like, let go of that limiting thinking. Catch yourself saying that I can't, and start saying I can in new ways. Okay. So this week is a good week to release yourself from your cages. All right, Nicole and Seth. Nicole, the miser. Careful where you're holding energy too tightly, okay? It could be love, it could be money, it could be anything. It's just energy being held too closely, okay? Let's see if I can show you this card a little bit closer. See how she's holding on to everything. She doesn't look happy because she's doing that. Okay, so don't hold back this week. Don't hold energy back in a miserly way. Be watching out for that. Okay, Seth, beyond illusion, not this week. It's upside down. So you're not going to get beyond illusion this week. The illusion's very talkative and very convincing. And do know that the illusion is the illusion. Okay. Our eyes literally have cones in them. Okay. Literally. And that cone is to bring something to a point so that it can be enhanced. But because of that, our eyes are also limiting in what they can see. And there's more that's going on that your eyeballs are not capable of seeing. So this beyond the illusion is just acknowledging I'm not going to be able to see differently because my eyes are my eyes, but I can understand that there is something beyond this. Okay. All right. Diane. Sharing is caring for you this week, Diane. Okay. So this card is sharing. Okay. And very much letting yourself be in sharing what you want to share. Share your voice, share your love, share your energy where you want to, not out of guilt or shame or neediness, but just because you want to. Okay. All right. Thank you guys for hanging in there. We're getting to the end. If you're still hanging out and haven't put a card out, be sure to say me, please, if you want a card. Cynthia, okay, you got conditioning upside down. So this is the lion wearing the sheep's clothing now and is conditioning those sheep to just let the lion be present. So be careful where you might accidentally be manipulating too, because what I'm hearing is this conditioning card is saying that, when we're working on the limiting beliefs and we're working on our own cages, it's also important to understand that we maybe have been trying to be something that we're not. And this week would be a good week. Oh, did you see your orb? Woo! That was a good one. When you are ready to be truly a little bit more in alignment with your own well-being and trust that you don't have to be something different than what you just naturally are, then things will start to open up a little bit more. Okay? It's cool. That one really hung out. Like, notice me. Yeah, those little orbs, you guys, are just your unseen helpers trying to be seen. So just acknowledging that they are there to help. All right, Miranda, you are the last one on the me pleases. So if anybody else is hanging out, be sure to say me please. But you got the burden. Okay, so this guy is riding on this other guy's shoulders. And so letting yourself acknowledge that there might be some other people you're carrying forward. And it's okay to put them down. They can walk, they have two legs. They can do what there is theirs to do. So this week might be a week to look where you've been letting yourself carry burdens of other people. Okay. All right. Amna, I see you. Hello. If you'd like a card, just type me please in the comments and I will be happy to throw one for you. Okay, you guys, if anybody else is hanging out, it hasn't said me please, or if I accidentally missed you, because as far as I can tell, I'm at the end of my list, which is awesome because yeah, I didn't get okay, Amna, gotcha. I didn't get a announcement out for this until last minute. So really, you guys, oh, and then my light just died. um as far as this weekend thing goes, on Sundays I do this pretty much every Sunday when I can. I do normally post it early, so if you go to my YouTube channel and you can just search Leanne Holitza because I'm literally the only Leanne Holitza in the world, and you'll find me and subscribe to my channel, and then if you hit the bell you'll get notified when I go live and you can get another card. All right, here's your card for the week. Okay, you got healing upside down. So what I'm hearing from your guides this week is not a week to focus on healing necessarily in a like intense way where you're having to actively go find healers, get healed, to do that kind of stuff. Instead, this week you're being asked to go ahead and acknowledge that you are naturally healing yourself all the time. I mean, that is what we do as an organic system. And this week might be a week to just pause on any healing efforts so that the healing efforts you've already done can integrate. Okay? All right. Nobody else? Well, I am always game to throw a card for my husband, who sometimes watches this. So I will. We'll see what his card for the week is. I think he has jury duty tomorrow. That's no fun. Happy Halloween, everyone. At least, yes. Okay, here we go. Ready? Whoop. Integration. All right, so good card for him. He's going to be integrating a lot of different things this week. And for all of us, we are always doing that, right? We're always integrating what we're doing. But it's a good week to kind of reflect on those limiting beliefs. Let those limiting beliefs go and give yourself a chance to receive better instead of just being the one doing all the time. Yes, you're welcome. See, there he is. I knew he was watching. Okay, you guys, I hope that you have an amazing week. And if there is um any help that you need in regarding receiving or understanding the messages you just got, you can ask your guides directly, just like a prayer. It doesn't have to be anything extreme, just an intention, a connection, asking for help, and then receiving that help in whatever way it's being offered. Okay, go be amazing. See you later.